It is now 5:30 p.m., Monday, February 22nd, 2021. I'm calling this meeting of the Paris City Council to order. This will start with the invocation by Mr. Gene Anderson, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Mayor Pro Tem Ms. Portugal. Everyone stand, please.
May we pray? Heavenly Father, we thank you for every blessing. We thank you especially for watching over us this past week, Father, when we had such severe weather. We pray for those, Father, who are adversely affected by it, that you would work their situation out, Father, and they might be able to quickly recover. Father, we just pray for our council tonight as they make decisions for the city, Father, that you give them wisdom and understanding. And Father, we just want to thank you and praise your name for all that you've done. We're asking in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next is a citizens forum. Persons desiring to address the council must limit their presentation to no more than 2 minutes. Unless an item is posted on the agenda, the Texas Open Meetings Act prohibits the council from responding to any comments other than to refer the matter to a future agenda, to an existing policy, or to a staff person with specific factual information. Claims against the city, council members, or employees, as well as individual personal appeals, are not appropriate for the citizens forum. Citizens forum is now open. Anyone wishing to address the council, please step up, and you'll have at least 2 minutes. We'll need your name and address. Seeing none, I will now close the citizens forum. Next is consent agenda. Are there any items on the consent agenda that any council member wishes to pull for additional discussion? If not, I'll entertain a motion on this.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Okay, unanimous. Thank you. First item on the regular agenda, number 13, discuss, conduct a public hearing, and act on an ordinance considering the petition of Brent Smith for a change in zoning from a light industrial district to a one-family dwelling district number 2 in the city of Paris, block 188A, lot 1, LCAD 17008, located in the 800 block of Jackson Street. Mr. Path.
Yes, Brent Smith is requesting a change in zoning from light industrial to a single-family district 2, one-family dwelling district number 2, SF2. He has about 7.67 acres. The property, the future land use recommends low-density residential, so this is in line with our future land use for the property. He does have an existing neighbor, which is American Plant Food, which is a light industrial. There's an inactive railroad nearby as well, but all the surrounding uses otherwise are residential. In fact, a lot of them are even zone industrial. So in time, those will need to be rezoned in time to encourage light industrial. But otherwise, this would get us in the right direction per our future land use plan. So planning and zoning voted to approve this 5-0, and we recommend approval tonight.
Okay,
so.
thank you. Let's go ahead and get the public hearing out of the way. I'll open the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak for or against this item, please step up and give us your name and address. Seeing none, I will now close the public hearing and open it up. Does anyone on the council have any questions or any discussion on this? All right. I'll entertain a motion on this as well.
I'll make a motion to approve the zoning change from light industrial district to a one-family dwelling district number 2.
Got a motion, and I'll second that. So all in favor? Unanimous, thank you. Item number 14, discuss and act on a resolution extending the declaration of a disaster 2021-001 signed by the mayor on February 16th, 2021 to be extended for a period of not more than 7 days, declaring a disaster in Paris, Texas based on the existence of an imminent threat of widespread and severe property damage, injury, and loss of life due to prolonged freezing temperatures, heavy snow, and freezing rain statewide. Ms. Harris, what's your recommendation on this?
I had put in our agenda materials that I was going to defer to Chief Tuttle as to whether or not this was something that needed to be extended. And given the fact that we are good right now, Chief Tuttle says that he sees no reason to extend the disaster declaration at this time.
Okay. Any questions from Ms. Harris or Chief Tuttle or anybody?
I do.
Go ahead.
There's been some, what is it? The governor got some money from the federal government for relief, FEMA relief or something? But is there not a lot of damage, let me put it another way, is there not a lot of damage to people's homes as a result of the weather occurrence that we just had that could go towards this, or is this only for the disaster related to COVID?
No, this particular disaster declaration was just weather-related, but I'll let Chief Tuttle discuss the emergency management situation.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, the governor declared 37 counties eligible for what you're considering individual assistance. He extended some more today, and currently Lamar County is not under that. Now, what we've done is we've posted on, and we've made the news media aware and on social media for people to self-report damages. So if we get enough, we may get in that declaration of individual assistance. Right now, we're under public assistance declaration, which involves, what we in the city or schools or other entities may be out damaged. But right now, we're not under the individual assistance declaration. But that doesn't mean we won't if we don't get enough.
Okay, because I had some folks call me about this, and how come, our county's not on there? And I figured it was just because we hadn't gone through the proper procedures yet to become a disaster area, or maybe we just were lucky and we didn't have that much damage. I don't know. I was lucky. I was super lucky.
Yeah, I was too, but there's been quite a few residences that have broken pipes and damage, and that's why the governor did what he did as far as putting it out for the public, for them to individually apply through that website of any damage they have. So in the event it does meet to that standard in Lamar County, we'll get declared too.
I got you. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Any other questions? Okay, so Chief, you're satisfied though the 1 week we don't need to extend this for another week in your opinion? It's not going to be of any value?
Yeah, I think we've gone through the storm, and so to speak, and I think we're okay now.
Okay, so I assume then let's not, unless somebody wants to make a motion to do it, we'll just leave this alone since we're not going to, this will expire, the original one expires in 7 days, correct?
Correct.
And that's how much longer now?
Today.
Today, okay, so it expires today. All right.
So there's nothing else, you don't need to do.
So we don't need to do anything on this, okay. All right, item number 15, receive presentation about the Paris Economic Development Corporation's annual report for fiscal year 2020. Ms. Hammond, you'd like to step up and have a chat with us here.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. Let me set this up. Yes, I'm Maureen Hammond. I'm the Executive Director of the Paris Economic Development Corporation. Thank you for having us here today to present. Pursuant to our bylaws, we are here to present our annual report for the calendar year 2020. So as the economic development arm for the community of Paris, our job is to create and retain quality jobs for the community. We do that in a number of ways, but primarily through business attraction, so bringing new industry into the community, business retention and expansion, working with our existing employers to help them grow and succeed, and then entrepreneurship, so working to help start making the process for starting a business easy. I think Mahir presented our 2019-2020 budget last summer. So while this is our current budget, I thought it was important to work from this. As you can see, our current estimated tax revenue is $1.4 million. Our operating budget is about $500,000. And the remainder of the expenses that make up our budget, you can see, is in that $2.4 million for direct business incentives. So our total budget is about $3.5 million. So you can see we're operating at a deficit budget of about $2.1 million. There are two things I want to point out here. One, the direct business incentives that total $2.4 million. The real number is closer to $1.9 million. So we went back, and so the 2.4 is what was actually budgeted. But what we currently have in obligations is closer to $1.9 million. You can see a breakout of all of the current obligations we have. And the second thing so it's about 500 overstated in our current budget. Okay, so that's the first thing I wanted to mention. The second thing is while we have all of these listed in our current year, not all of these will actually be triggered this year, and I think that's important. And so I'm going to use American Spiral Weld as an example. So going back to when they were announced and the deal was made in 2017, 2018, they were given $1 million upfront cash for the creation of 60 jobs. This million you see listed is for an additional 40 jobs above that 60. And so in order for them to even start looking at getting this incentive, they would have to get to their initial 60 jobs. So this could take a couple of years. Because potentially it could happen tomorrow, we have to list it in our current budget. So I think that's important to point out. So while we are operating in a deficit, I think that paints a much dire picture than what is reality. And this is just another way to look at it. This is our 5-year cash flow projections. So you can see if everything came due this year, we would still be in the black by $415,000. We do have $2 million in cash, and this doesn't include the roughly $2 million we have in the Texas investment pool. So if you look at the next 4 years and we do not obligate any incentive money, it's going to take us a while to build back those reserves. So yes, we're stretched, but not as stretched, I guess, as it may seem when you look at that current budget. Before I dive into our activities, I thought it was important to give a timeline of 2020. Major organization events, as well as a pandemic, right? So in January, the executive director leaves. In February, the PDC board selects the PACE group to lead the search for a new executive director. In March, the World Health Organization declares a pandemic. And then in June, City Council takes action to bring the PEDC board from 5 members to 7 members. And then in July, that new board effectively starts. And then, of course, I started in August. I just think it's important to show that, and just to give some context before we dive into our activities for 2020. Our product is Paris. So one of the most valuable tools we have to work with is our land. So we currently have 226 acres remaining. We have 116 acres in the Gene Stallings Business Park, 110 acres in the Northwest Industrial Park, which is home to American Spiral Weld. So in 2019, the board engaged EST to perform an analysis of all of our sites and determine their site readiness. They came back and made a series of recommendations, and so in 2020, I think it was January, the board engaged Brush Tech to clear some of the larger parcels. So all of that work was completed last year. We also made a significant investment in rail. As you can see, the rail improvements shown here are for the American Spiral Weld project. It was a $1 million investment by the PEDC, 7,000 feet of rail. It was a joint project with Kiamichi, the PEDC, and American Spiral Weld. You can see in the red, that is American Spiral Weld's portion of rail. The blue is what the PEDC paid to have rehabbed or constructed. And then the green is Kiamichi's portion of rail that they had complete. So lots of improvements with getting our site ready and of course the rail for the American Spiral Weld project. And business attraction. I really want to give credit to the board. So during that time from January to July, when they did not have a director, when I came in August, Rocket X, Rainwater Falls, and Iron Shovel, the board had done an incredible job of keeping those projects on the hook. So I came in, it was an easy transition to get caught up to speed and make contact with those projects. So great job by that board. As you can see, Rainwater Falls is closed. They have chosen not to expand in Paris. We are still having conversations with Rocket X and Iron Shovel, so we'll keep you abreast of those conversations as they move forward. From August to December, I think we received about 8 leads, but we were only eligible to submit on about 5 of those leads. So currently, we have 4 open projects and 1 closed. We did not make the short list for one of those. While we're talking about attraction, I really think it's important to talk about attraction projects, right? We all want those headlines for 500 jobs, attraction projects. I wanted to show this slide because I think it's important for everyone to have a good understanding of where we're at today when it comes to attraction. If you look at 1999, that was a high point for attraction projects. There were roughly 12,700 active attraction projects. If you look at how that just steadily declines down to 2006, there was 4,700 roughly, right, active projects. We're talking about thousands of communities, economic development organizations competing for the same project. So I show this to say it is highly competitive. We just have to know that going in. We are going to continue to be aggressive, put our best foot forward, but just know that the competition is fierce. In business retention and expansion, that's, I would say, where we made the most progress last year. When I came in August, we had extensive outreach to our primary employers, Campbell's, Potter's, Bodyguard, Casey. Really good conversations, and we'll keep that dialogue moving forward. We had 5 projects for the year that we worked on. Everyone's familiar with American Spiral Weld. That was announced in 2018. What a great project for the PEDC, the leadership, the community at that time. I think that was a great win. So last year, we really just provided ongoing support to that project. Part of the master agreement, we still had obligations when it came to environmental remediation, rail work, so all of that's been complete. As an update on where they're at, they have a startup team in place, so they'll begin ramping up their hiring in the coming months. Turner, we all know that the oil and gas industry took a big hit, and then you had COVID. So the PEDC board was proactive in reaching out to several businesses in Paris. Turner was one of those companies. They were really concerned about the impact that not only the oil and gas industry had, but the pandemic. And so they really wanted to work hard to keep their leadership team in place. So in exchange for Turner retaining 49 full-time employees, there were 2 installment payments for a total of $400,000 to keep those jobs here. Those obligations were fulfilled in mid-December, and their current employment is 114. J. Skinner was a retention and expansion project. They were experiencing growth opportunities, and with the addition of rail, that was going to allow them new efficiencies. So in exchange for retaining 190 employees, the PEDC allocated $300,000 for bringing rail into their site. So today they have currently 267 employees. Metrogate, that was announced last month. Great company, great win, homegrown company, manufacturing. They were reaching growth opportunities and needed some support to get them from 40 to 80 employees. So we saw an opportunity to work with them. That incentive package is totaled at $160,000. So 40 of that was to help them with machinery and equipment. The remainder is for cash for jobs. That is a performance-based agreement, meaning those incentives will not be paid until those jobs are created. So that was a great BRNE project for the community. TxDOT, this is another great project. They currently have a lease agreement with the city, and that lease agreement, I believe, is expiring in several years. So they had been on the hunt for a new site, preferably off the loop. So we started having conversations with them and ended up negotiating the 37 acres in the Gene Stallings Business Park. this is important because I know some people view this as a state agency, right? But they employ 160 people in the community at an average wage of $60,000 or higher. I can tell you, any of my counterparts in the region would have rolled out the red carpet to have the district headquarters in their community. So this is a great win. And not only the job creation that they have and what they do, right? They host conferences, training. So they're bringing people to the community on a regular basis that are spending money in our community, shopping, staying at the hotels, eating at our restaurants. So, and they're going to build a state-of-the-art building off the loop. So I'm really excited about that project. Mockingbird Solar, that is the solar project in Toco. It will be located on a 3,600-acre site. We took action to support that project in recognition of their capital investment. So they're looking at investing $406 million. Also, will create 280 direct and indirect jobs, but that is only during the construction of the site. However, they'll end up generating about $35 million in new taxes to the county. So another good project. So for the year 2020, that was 249 new and retained jobs. We worked on Metrogate and TxDOT throughout 2020, but those were announced this year. So that's the 240 jobs listed under 2021. So total jobs supported from our efforts last year, 489 jobs and 21 million in payroll. I think that is a great number for a year that had so much change, devastation with the pandemic. Really proud of that number, proud of the board, and we couldn't have done it, right? It's a team effort, and we appreciate the council's partnership in our efforts. So really proud of that number. Moving forward, we're going to continue our core activities in recruitment and BRNE. We're going to look at our entrepreneurship programming. We had a planning session in February, and out of that planning session, the entire board and everyone there agrees that we need to prioritize our retention and expansion efforts. So we really need to focus on our existing industry. Most new net jobs come from your existing industry and startups. So that's really important that we make that a priority moving forward. We are going to formalize a business visitation and survey program in partnership with PJC. Really excited about that. I think it will reveal some interesting information that will help us as we build programming moving forward. We also established working committees. We'll have an incentive review committee. As a steward of tax dollars, we take that very seriously and want to make sure that our incentives, we have guidelines that are consistent and that are truly looking at quality jobs. So what is the minimum average wage? Will they supply health benefits? So that will be important moving forward. That group will make recommendations to the board to consider. We also have a marketing committee. So they'll look at branding, logo, our materials, all things marketing, and again, make recommendations to the board. And then finally, we'll have a land inventory committee. They'll be tasked with really looking at site readiness for our existing land, and then looking at other land around the loop that would make sense to put in our portfolio. So we'll plan to continue establishing partnerships. Like I said, economic development is a team sport, and local partnerships, regional and statewide. We'll be looking at different partnerships. We're going to ramp up our marketing efforts, and then, of course, coordinate with the airport on opportunities. So this is just, a list for now. I'm sure that will continue to grow. We have a lot of work to do. We're really excited. I have an incredible board. I guess in closing, what I'd like to say is we do value the partnerships on behalf of the board. Thank you for working with us. We're excited about this coming year, and happy to answer any questions. Is Dr. Hashmi here? Okay, Dr. Hashmi was going to make comments, so I don't know if he'll be here, but I'm happy to answer any questions.
No, it was great.
Okay. Okay.
I really appreciate you breaking everything out like you did. That was really good.
I appreciate it, Ms. Hammond. Very
Good.
very
Good.
Super presentation, thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 16, discuss and act on an ordinance of the City of Paris, Texas, adopting and enacting a new code of ordinances, providing for the repeal of certain ordinances not included therein, providing a penalty for the violation thereof not exceeding $500 generally, or not exceeding $2,000 for violations relating to fire safety, zoning, or public health and sanitation, or not exceeding $4,000 for violations related to dumping or refuse, providing for the amendment of such code, and providing when such code and this ordinance shall become effective.
Good afternoon.
Janice.
After receiving several concerns about the former company that we used for our codification, we learned that there were so many mistakes and errors over the years that we decided that we were going to begin looking for another company. So I talked to the former city manager, we talked to other organizations, and we decided on Kirk Franklin with Franklin Legal Publishing. They're the only recodification company that has Texas lawyers working on their company, and they work with a lot of municipalities. We started this process in late November. It was a much longer process than we thought it initially was going to be. It had not been recodified since 1998. It's recommended that you do recodification about every 10 years. The reason for that is you can go back and review it and catch any legislation that is not put in there. So we did a lot of research. We had many meetings with Mr. Franklin among staff. We gathered documents, went over them, compared them to the code, and it was a thorough undertaking and a much-needed project. Before you all is the new code for the City of Paris, and our recommendation is that you approve the ordinance approving the new city code. I cannot tell you the undertaking, but I think you all will be happy with it. It's much more user-friendly. And do you all have any questions?
Did we have to read it all before?
Yes, we did.
887 pages.
Yeah, yes, you did. Yeah, it took all of the staff.
Yeah, and I
A
saw
lot of
the-
staff members
the
worked on
things you corrected, the
this.
things that were inconsistent,
yeah,
that
yeah.
referenced law, referenced things that didn't exist, and
Such as that we rented airplanes to the public. And I've never have heard of that, so that was in there too.
I'm sure it was.
So
well over-
it took a lot of eyes and a lot of us getting together, working towards it, and I have a lot of confidence in Kirk Franklin.
What part of it I read looked real good. I won't
Great.
say I read all 887 pages of it, but looks like y'all did a tremendous amount of work on this, and it was something very necessary for the
Oh,
city. So,
definitely.
any questions or comments, Bonnie? Well,
Kudos to staff, thank you very much.
I'll make a motion to approve the ordinance adopting the new City of Paris Code of Ordinances.
Second,
Second, all in favor?
Thank you all very
Thank you.
much.
Item number 17, discuss and act on appointing members to the Charter Review Committee. So
Okay.
Janice, go ahead and fill
All
us
right,
in on
at
this.
your January 25th meeting, you all decided to move forward with appointment of a city charter review committee to study the charter to determine if there any amendments are needed. It was a consensus for each of you to select one member from your district, or one citizen from your district to serve on the committee.
Does it
And
have to be from the district?
it doesn't have to be,
Okay,
that's
that's what I
your,
was wondering.
that's your decision.
Okay.
You all are, you make the rules. There's nothing in the law that says they have to be from your district. In addition, I think we all agreed that it was probably best to have 11 members, but you all can change that as well. You were all going to give us one name, and from there, you were going to give us another name on a piece of paper. We're going to put it in a hat or an envelope and draw names from there and select 4 more people.
And Mr. Savage is not here. Did he give you a name of anybody?
I did not know he was not going to be here.
Okay, okay.
He didn't.
He notified me he wasn't going to be here. I asked him if he had a name to get it to you, but
Yes, I
he may
didn't
not
hear
have.
from
Okay,
him.
Okay. All right, so I guess everyone here, do y'all have a name of a person that you wish to put on the board? Everybody got one? So I'm gonna start off by saying, by asking the council's permission for this. I'd like to put myself on this. I'll be off the council by the time this committee meets. And having been on the council for 6 years, I may have a little insight into maybe some changes that might need to be made. With the council's permission, I'd like to place myself on this committee as my one person that I'll officially place, if there's no objection to that.
No objection.
I don't look for us to begin meeting until early summer because of concerns with COVID.
Okay.
And that's really when we plan. Once you all give us the names, we'll contact the people and speak to them.
Okay, well, let's go down the line and
Okay.
give the names of the people that you're going to automatically be placed on.
Aaron Jenkins.
Okay. Thank you.
Derek Hughes.
Me.
Okay.
Mr. Reeves Hayter, and he's
Okay.
here tonight.
Great.
My nominee is Matthew Coyle.
Thank you.
Alex Putnam.
Okay.
Okay, and if you have an extra name, someone else that you would like to put into the hat, what do we want to do with Mr. Savage? Do we want to reserve that place for him?
You all can do that. We can bring it back for him to appoint a person if you want to.
Why don't we do that?
Okay.
I know he
Appoint one.
wasn't able to make it to the meeting tonight, but let's reserve one for him. So
Okay.
that leaves us with 4 more spaces to fill, correct?
Correct.
So everybody's got a piece of paper here, and just Mr. Savage can get the 11th one once we do this.
Does everyone, I want you to know that you're all exactly the same size as the pieces of paper. Mary is going to do us the honor of drawing.
There you go, thanks.
Let's just shake it out. Okay, Edwin Pickle. Keith Flowers. Keith Flowers again. Okay. Joan Mathis. Joan Mathis again. She served last time. I hope this is someone we have had. Connie Dodd. Okay, so with those 4 and Mr. Savage selecting someone, you all will have 11 members.
Okay, is everybody satisfied with that process? Okay, sounds good, and let Mr. Savage know that he needs to get us one name, and if he's unable to, then we'll bring it back to the council.
Okay, thank you all very much.
Okay, thank you.
We don't have to vote on this?
No,
Okay, good.
correct?
Correct.
Stephanie, we don't have to, okay. And this committee's gonna, you say meet in the summer,
Yes, we're doing early summer, by then.
and it's gonna be like almost a year-long process.
It'll be the following May.
Yeah, so quite a bit of
We have
time.
a really long time.
There were people that were concerned about COVID, and so either it'll be in the rearview mirror, or we can do this via Zoom as well, I would think, so. Okay, item number 18, discuss and act on a nonprofit financial assistance policy. Mr. Path?
Yes, every fiscal year, at the start of the fiscal year, the city manager's office entertains applications from nonprofit organizations who are seeking public assistance. And so I didn't go back to see how long this has been going on. It's been going on for a number of years. And I arrived late April, and which was too late to have brought this to you at that time. But the prior procedure was for the city manager to review the applications and make the decision on which ones are eligible for public funding, and then that would always go to the city council, and city council would approve as part of the as overall budget with that. That's a process I would prefer to hand over to the city council. It'd be my request and recommendation. These are not departments, they're not city operations, and so I would feel better that this be reviewed by the council and approved as to who, as a non-cities receiving taxpayer funding, and so. With this, I've developed a policy. I do believe part of the process is these are all mostly, I'd say, worthy programs, and so it's very hard to pick and choose which ones will not get funding. Obviously, there'd be differing opinions on the council as to who individual council members think should and should not get funding, for what reasons and what not, and so forth. So I put together a policy here that I hope might give you some guidance, some systematic approach to doing this procedure here. I'm trying to be as fair while having some structure, because again, there's going to be differing opinions here. Part of that is setting a cap. Again, I request we don't give all of our funding away to nonprofits there. We have to have some funding for operations, and we have to be reasonable with that, as well as I put in some parameters in there about how much should we be funding for an entity. I mean, I don't think that we should fund their entire budget per se. We should only fund a portion of that. I think we should probably cap how much an entity will receive of our funding here. I don't think one entity should receive the total amount. This should be trying to spread it across entities. And so forth. So I can either walk through the policy with you, unless you've had any questions about that. I mean, this is your policy, so I'm open to edits, suggestions, those kind of things here. But that's basically the background of it. I like for the city council to consider taking this role over. And so in a nutshell, we would advertise in March, April and May. We receive applications. We would process those, make sure they are eligible for public funding. Again, since we're using taxpayer dollars here, it has to be a public purpose. And it has to be a purpose that we can reasonably see is benefiting the citizens of Paris, and whether it's 1, 10, 100, 1,000, or all of them. And so we go through a process working with the city attorney, determining that those are eligible. We would then present all of those, both eligible and ineligible, for you to look at. City council would then you can have some open discussion, and then you would have a process where you would rank the priority discussion. And so you would get a scorecard as I've drafted in here. You would then individually rank. Okay, I think we should talk about this one first, this one second, this one third, because again, we have a cap in funding here. And since everyone has probably differing opinions as to which entity should receive funding, we would then compile those rankings, and then the first one who gets the highest compilation is one you would discuss first. And so you would discuss them, yes or no, or you can edit how much they receive. They ask for 15,000, you can give them 10 or 9 or whatever it is. Then you move on to the next one. You vote, move on to the next one, then vote to move on to the next one. That way you vote individually in each one until you reach the cap of $100,000. I have some allowance in there for another 5, because sometimes you may get down and you got 95,000 and the last one needs 8,000. And so you're just almost there. It is, and they need a new widget, and it costs $8,000. And so you may. So I gave them 5,000 there to give you some wiggle room in case that one last item is just on the edge, teetering there. If you can just give a little bit more money, they can make it happen. So some room there with that. So with that is overall the gist of it. And I figure we can try it out this year, unless we want to make edits. And so yeah, I'll take any questions.
I like this a lot, Mr. Path. I really read through this, and it's well thought out, and will have the effect of giving the council the choice and being given the opportunity to discuss it and rank it, and then we can, rather than the city manager himself making all these decisions and presenting it to the group. I especially like the part where you wanted a 2-page summary from the organization that's applying, such that we have a concise summary of what public benefit that this group is providing, and they're forced to explain that to us, and then we'll be able to compare apples and apples here. and rank them, because they'll all be worthy of it, make no mistake, but we can't give it to everyone. So I really like this a lot. I appreciate the work you did on this, and I plan to support this for sure. But any questions to Mr. Path on this or comments? So,
I think it's a great program, so.
I like the plan. Definitely, we're spending taxpayer dollars, and I think we should take a good look at it. And I've been on a similar committee with United Way, and I will say it's difficult. You listen to their needs, and you want everybody to get what they can do the most good with, but there's a budget.
Yes.
So.
Yep.
all right. Well, any
Well,
other questions? Go. Yeah.
Under the perimeter number 9, have we given $15,000 to any one entity?
I believe that's been about the max we've given. Gene, help me. I think 15,000 is a,
That seems a
Yes.
little high to me.
yeah,
I know the Humane Society, I think got $15,000 last year for the SNP program, and that's a program that allows people to bring their dogs and cats in and get an extremely low-cost spaying and neutering, which has a tremendous public benefit because we don't have a bunch of dogs and cats having litters of puppies and kittens, and so that's to my knowledge, that's what they got last year.
Yeah, and I will apologize. I put my initial bones together about 4, 5, 6 months ago, and then I got busy, and then I put it all together during my COVID time off, and so I did not double check that, but I'm confident that 15,000 was a number that we'd looked at in the past, and so I didn't just pull it out of the air. It came from some review back, but I didn't double check it when I actually wrote this here a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
But yeah.
I was just curious, thanks.
Any other questions? No. All right, well, I'll entertain a motion on this then.
Make a motion to accept the nonprofit financial assistance policy as written by City Manager Grayson Path.
Second.
All in favor? Unanimous. Thank you, Mr. Path. Really do appreciate your work on this. Next item is number 19, discuss and act on a request from Samantha Hughes to waive her rent at the Events Center until May 2021 as related to COVID-19. Ms. Ellis.
I'm waiting on insurance information from Ms. Hughes, so I'd like to just continue this until our next council meeting. Hopefully-
You want to table this?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
I'll make a motion to table the item 19 until the next city council meeting.
Second.
All in favor? Okay,
Thank you.
Item number 20, receive report required by Texas Local Government Code Section 399.009 for proposed the City of Paris, Texas Property Assessed Clean Energy Program, and discuss and possibly approve resolution of intent to establish the City of Paris, Texas PACE program. Ms. Harris.
You will recall that I came armed with a PowerPoint last week, 2 weeks ago, and we talked about what PACE financing is, and that you instructed me to come up with the beginnings of a program that would take into account a pilot program for the Paris Lakes project while providing that we could expand it fairly rapidly to the rest of the city. If you'll recall, there were phases. Phase 1 had 4 steps. We're here to do phase 1 and 2 tonight. 1 is, I put in your agenda packet the report, and assuming that you pass the resolution of intent to form a program, we'll put that on the website and make it available in the city clerk's office. The second part is to pass a resolution of intent to create a PACE program, and I put that resolution for your review. I'll be happy to take any questions on that.
Any questions?
No, I don't.
Well, I think we need to move ahead with it, and so I'm in favor of this. If it helps Paris Lakes, great, and if it gets yet another tool that Ms. Hammond might could use to help out with economic development, that would be a good thing as well. So
basically what we need is a motion to approve the resolution.
I make a motion to approve the resolution.
The resolution of intent
The
to
resolution of intent for the
create a PACE
Texas
program.
Property Assessed Clean Energy Program as written by Stephanie.
Second.
Is that good? Is that?
That is perfect.
All right.
All in favor? Okay, unanimous, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, item number 21, convene into executive session pursuant to section 551.087 of the Texas Government Code. 1, to discuss or deliberate regarding commercial or financial information that the governmental bodies receive from a business prospect that the governmental body seeks to have, locate, stay, or expand in or near the territory of the governmental body and with which the governmental body is conducting economic development negotiations. Or 2, to deliberate the offer of a financial or other incentive to a business prospect described by subdivision 1 as follows: First National Bank Building and associated properties. It is now 6:15. We're going into executive. Okay, it's now 6:38. We're out of executive session. We had a discussion about economic development prospects on the First National Bank Building, and no action was taken. Any future events? Yes, sir.
I just got, not an event, just a statement. Special thank you to police chief, fire chief, all of our city staff, and our fearless leader, Grayson Path. I've got friends in Houston, Austin, Dallas, several other communities. A lot of them lost water, they lost life, they lost all kinds of things. And we could have easily had that here, and I know I passed by here Tuesday or Monday night at 9 o'clock, and your pickup was parked here. And that means a lot to me. And it means a lot to my family and my community, and I appreciate everything y'all did during the storm last week, because we had all kinds of crazy stuff going on, electricity going out and pumps this and water that, and y'all persevered, so we appreciate it a lot.
Pipes breaking all over town too, yeah.
I mean, that's a huge thing.
and-
City of Houston and Austin and those kinds of places, they don't have the leadership we have.
And I know we focused a
You can
lot
quote me on that
on
one.
things that could have been a little bit better, but the bottom line is, we took a situation that was incredibly difficult, one of the most challenging situations that this city will face in a long time, and we got through it. We got through it far better than the vast majority of communities in Paris, and it's because of you and the city staff and chief and the police and the first responders. Everybody was a part of this, and I agree with Clayton. I really want to publicly compliment y'all.
It was crazy to me. I went to my office one day to go check, make sure everything was still running, and there were, I don't know how many John Deere tractors, skid steers, people in the community too that were pushing snow and cleaning roads up, because obviously we don't have snow plows sitting at every corner like a lot of communities north of us. And that was kind of a neat deal to see that. You don't see that everywhere either. So, but thank y'all.
I appreciated all the communication. I mean, you kept us
Yeah, oh, yeah.
informed every single step of the way, and that's really important. I don't think we've ever had this much, we've never been kept in the loop like this. So thank you so very much to everybody.
Well done.
And Grayson, we met on Friday, so, I told you in the meeting that I appreciate your efforts and the team's effort, and I really appreciate y'all. I mean, you kept everybody in the loop. Transparency was great. We got some lessons learned to deal with through this process, but overall, it's an outstanding job to everybody. We appreciate it.
Everything they said.
Future events, though, I have one future event I want to talk about. I think we learned some things we want to spend our COVID money on, if we have any left over, for possibly a generator for the pump that pumps the water to the water towers, as well as the more minor electrical hookup, which it doesn't even have. So even if we'd had the generator, we couldn't have powered it. But looking in the future, as critical as that piece of equipment is, maybe getting ourselves a mobile generator that's capable of doing that and running other essential things in the city, should, heaven forbid, this happen again, and it will, given enough time, it will.
Yeah, create a complete bypass system.
Yeah. Yep. So that's something I think we found out today this week might be a good thing to spend that extra money on. So anyway, I'm sure y'all will come back with ideas and plans for how to best implement that.
Something.
Yeah, go ahead. Ms.
I
Knox.
don't know that it's urgent to get on the agenda, but when the time comes for the water contract renewal, I'd like to see that contract beforehand. Before the negotiations start and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
All right, anything else on future events? If not, motion for adjournment.
Second.
Oh,